Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something today. Your destiny is not determined by your circumstances, your past, or even the people around you. Your destiny is determined by one thing: how well you master yourself. And the first step to mastering yourself is mastering your emotions. You see, emotions are like fire. They can warm your heart, give you light, and guide your path. But if left unchecked, they can burn everything in their way. Anger, fear, jealousy, and resentment, they will destroy your progress if you let them rule over you. But joy, patience, courage, gratitude, they will build bridges to your greatness. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean denying how you feel. It means acknowledging it, understanding it, and choosing the response that elevates you. Life will throw storms at you. Life will disappoint you. Life will sometimes crush your dreams, but it is how you respond that defines your future. When fear whispers in your ear, you respond with faith. Anger knocks on your door, you respond with patience. When doubt threatens your vision, you respond with determination. Every emotion you control becomes a tool in building your destiny. People who fail are not always defeated by circumstance, they are defeated by themselves. Sadness paralyzed them. They let bitterness blind them. They let frustration silence their dreams. But you, my friend, are made for more. You were made to rise above your feelings and turn them into fuel. So, I challenge you today, do not let your emotions master you. Master your emotions and watch how your destiny begins to bow to your will. You have the power. You have the strength. You have the authority to shape your life. Not tomorrow, but today. Embrace your emotions, channel them, and let them propel you. Because when you master your emotions, you don't just survive, you thrive. And when you thrive, you become unstoppable. Let me speak to you today about something that is often overlooked. Something that quietly rules our lives if we are not careful. Our emotions. You see, most people spend their entire lives thinking that their destiny is determined by their education, their family, their environment, even the opportunities they are given. But I tell you today, your destiny is far more intimate, far more personal than all of that. It is determined by how you master your emotions. Every great achievement, every monumental breakthrough, every life-changing moment begins not in the world outside, but within the heart, the mind, and the spirit. The battles you face on the outside are reflections of the battles you are waging on the inside. The most powerful battle of all, the battle that determines whether you rise or fall, is the battle for control over your emotions. Think about it for a moment. Anger can make a person say things they will regret, destroy relationships, and sabotage opportunities. Fear can keep someone from taking the very step that could transform their life. Doubt can convince you that you are not worthy, not capable, not enough. And sadness, if left unchecked, can paralyze your progress, keep you from moving forward, and make you believe that tomorrow will never come. The same emotions that can destroy you can also be harnessed to build you. Joy can give you hope when the world feels dark. Gratitude can open doors you never imagined existed. Courage can push you to do what you thought was impossible. Patience can allow you to endure seasons of waiting and emerge stronger on the other side. Emotions are like raw materials. They have no inherent power until you decide how to use them. Most people live in reaction to their emotions. They wake up and let the first wave of frustration, irritation, or fear dictate how their day will go. They carry grudges, allow bitterness to fester, allow pain from the past to dictate the decisions of the present. And then, when life does not give them what they want, they complain, they blame, fail to understand that their own inner turmoil has shaped their outer reality. Mastery over your emotions is not about suppression. It's not about pretending that you feel nothing or that negative emotions don't exist. Mastery is about recognition. Mastery is about acknowledgement. Mastery is about taking that moment when anger rises and saying, I see you, I feel you. I will not allow you to dictate my destiny. It's about taking fear, looking in the eye, and saying, you may be here, but I am stronger. I am braver. I will move forward anyway. It's about letting sadness touch your heart without letting it control your future. The greatest people in history, people we admire, the people who achieved the impossible, they did not allow their emotions to control them. They understood that feelings are fleeting, decisions are permanent. They realized that the moment of emotional reaction is the moment of destiny making. The way you respond to what you feel, not what you feel, shapes your life. Life will throw storms at you. Life will disappoint you. Life will break promises and shatter expectations. Life will sometimes feel cruel, unfair, and relentless. But you, my friend, are given a gift greater than circumstance, the power to choose how you respond. And in that power, your destiny is written. When anger rises, respond with wisdom. When fear whispers lies, respond with faith. When doubt knocks at your door, respond with courage. When sadness tries to anchor you in despair, respond with hope. Every single time you make this choice, you are shaping your destiny. Every time you do not let a negative emotion control your reaction, you are building the path to the life you were meant to live. Your emotions are not your enemies. They are your messengers. They are signals, alerts, guiding you to what matters, to what needs attention, to what requires change. Ignoring them does not make them go away. It only allows them to grow in the dark. Facing them, understanding them, channeling them, that is how you harness them. That is how you turn what could be destruction into construction. That is how you take what could be weakness and make it strength. Many people live as if they are at the mercy of their moods. One day they are motivated, the next day they are defeated. One day they are inspired, the next day they are paralyzed. They think their life is determined by external forces. The truth is, your emotions are the truest measure of your internal climate. And if you do not control that internal climate, no external victory can bring lasting fulfillment. No amount of money, fame, or approval can replace the power of emotional mastery. I want you to see something clearly today. Mastering your emotions is not just a skill, it is a spiritual, mental, and personal revolution. It is the difference between people who succeed despite challenges and people who are defeated by life before they even begin. It is the difference between mediocrity and excellence, between surviving and thriving, between dreams that fade and dreams that manifest. Imagine the person who feels the same fear you feel, the same doubt, the same insecurity, but chooses to act anyway. That person is shaping their destiny every day. They are not immune to hardship, but they are immune to defeat because they do not let their emotions make their decisions. That is what you must become, a person who acknowledges emotions but refuses to be ruled by them. And let me tell you, the reward is beyond measure. When you master your emotions, you no longer live at the mercy of every passing feeling. You are free. You are empowered. You are unstoppable. You begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You begin to act decisively where others hesitate. You begin to rise even when the world tries to push you down. And that, my friend, is how destiny bows to those who master themselves. Do not let your anger, your fear, your doubt, or your sadness determine where you go. Do not allow the circumstances of yesterday or the disappointments of others to dictate your tomorrow. Stand tall, take a deep breath, declare to the universe that your destiny will not be controlled by emotions you cannot master, but by the strength, courage, and wisdom with which you choose to respond to them. Because here is the unshakable truth: your emotions shape your destiny, but only if you allow them to. Master your emotions and you master your life. Master your emotions and nothing can stop you. Master your emotions and you do not just survive, you thrive. Master your emotions, and your destiny will reflect the greatness that has been within you all along. Let me speak to you today about one of the most critical truths in life, one that separates those who achieve greatness from those who are constantly struggling, constantly reacting, constantly feeling out of control. And that truth is this: awareness before action. Too many people make the fatal mistake of acting first and thinking later. Too many people allow impulse, emotion, or circumstance to dictate their choices, only to regret them later. But the wise, the strong, and the victorious understand that every step you take in life must first be preceded by awareness. Awareness is the foundation of all successful action. Awareness is the clarity that comes when you stop, pause, and truly observe not just the world around you, the world within you. Awareness is knowing your strengths, your weaknesses, your emotions, your triggers, and your tendencies. Awareness is understanding the landscape of your life before you make a move, because every action without awareness is like sailing a ship without a compass. You may move, but you will not move in the right direction. You see, life is not about constant motion. Life is about intentional motion. And intentional motion requires awareness. It requires knowing where you are standing, what is in your hand, what you are feeling, and what is at stake. The moment you act without awareness, you leave your destiny to chance. You leave your future to the whims of your emotions, the mistakes of your past, the unpredictability of circumstance, and that is a dangerous place to live. Too many people think that action alone is enough. Just do it, they say. I tell you today, action without awareness is not courage, it is recklessness. It is not wisdom, it is ignorance. It is not progress. It is destruction waiting to happen. You must first see, first feel, first understand before you ever move. Awareness is the lens that brings clarity to your vision. Without it, your steps are blind, your efforts wasted, your energy misdirected. Awareness is not just mental, it is emotional, spiritual, and physical. It is being conscious of your thoughts, being mindful of your emotions, and being attentive to your surroundings. It is the discipline to stop and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? What is influencing my decision? What is the outcome I truly desire? This is the power of awareness. It gives you pause, it gives you choice, it gives you control. When you are aware before you act, you are no longer a slave to circumstance. You are no longer a victim of your moods. You are no longer driven by impulsive reactions or temporary frustrations. You become the master of your destiny because you act not from fear, not from anger, not from haste, but from clarity, strategy, and purpose. Awareness transforms chaos into order, confusion into focus, and uncertainty into confident action. Anger rises in your heart. Most people react instantly. They lash out. They speak harsh words. They create conflict that lasts far longer than the moment of anger itself. But awareness before action changes everything. You stop. You breathe. You acknowledge the anger. You ask yourself, why am I angry? Will reacting solve this problem? Will it honor my long-term goals? And in that pause, that moment of awareness, you gain the power to respond wisely rather than react destructively or consider fear. Fear is a natural emotion, a warning signal. If acted upon without awareness, it can paralyze you, keep you small, and stop you from stepping into the life you were meant to live. Awareness before action allows you to examine the fear, understand its source, and determine whether it is guiding you toward caution or holding you back unnecessarily. It allows you to take bold, calculated steps rather than being driven blindly by panic. Awareness before action also applies to opportunity. Life will present you with doors, chances, relationships, and choices every single day, and it is tempting to rush through them, to grab what seems appealing, to act impulsively. Awareness gives you discernment. Awareness allows you to pause, assess the consequences, and choose wisely. Allows you to distinguish between fleeting desire and true destiny, between momentary pleasure and lasting purpose. You must also understand that awareness is a lifelong practice. It is not something you achieve once and then forget. It is cultivated through reflection, mindfulness, prayer, journaling, and honest self-examination. It requires humility, courage, and discipline. It requires the willingness to confront your weaknesses, acknowledge your mistakes, and take responsibility for your emotions, your decisions, and your life. Many people fail not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they act without awareness. They are reactive instead of proactive. They are impulsive instead of intentional. They are moved by the chaos around them instead of the clarity within them. But you, my friend, power to be different. You can rise above the reactive crowd. You can pause, reflect, and move with purpose. You can cultivate the awareness that turns action into achievement, effort into results, and dreams into reality. Awareness before action is not weakness. It is strength. It is not hesitation. It is preparation. It is not fear. It is wisdom. When you are aware, you move with precision, not randomness. You act with foresight, not regret. You choose your battles, your words, and your steps, not because the world demands it, but because your destiny requires it. Do not rush through life. Do not act without seeing. Do not speak without understanding. Do not decide without reflection. Take the time to be aware. Take the time to observe. Take the time to understand yourself, your emotions, your motives, and your surroundings. Pause long enough to consider the consequences, the opportunities, and the possibilities. Because when awareness precedes action, your life transforms. Your choices become sharper. Your steps become steadier. Your relationships become stronger. Your career becomes more strategic. Your emotions become allies instead of enemies. And ultimately, your destiny begins to reflect the thoughtful, intentional, powerful person you are capable of being. Impulsive action leads to regret. Thoughtful awareness leads to triumph. Acting without seeing leads to chaos. Acting with clarity leads to victory. The moments you spend in reflection, in understanding, in awareness are never wasted. They are the building blocks of your success, the foundation of your purpose, and the key to the life you were created to live. Cultivate awareness before action. Observe, reflect, and discern. Master your mind, master your emotions, master your surroundings. And then, when the time is right, take action. Take bold action, take deliberate, powerful action, and watch as your life transforms, as doors open, as opportunities manifest, and as your destiny unfolds with precision and purpose. Let me tell you something today. Life is going to give you negative emotions. It's unavoidable. You will face anger, frustration, jealousy, disappointment, fear, resentment, and doubt. These feelings are not signs that you are weak. They are part of the human experience. The question is not whether negative emotions will come, what you will do with them. Because here's the truth. Your destiny is not determined by the negative emotions you feel. It is determined by how you transform them. Most people allow their negative emotions to control them. Anger leads them to say things they regret. Fear keeps them from stepping forward. Jealousy eats at their joy. Frustration makes them quit before they even begin. Resentment chains them to the past, and doubt paralyzes them in the present. They think emotions are something to suppress, to hide, to ignore, but that is a lie. Negative emotions are powerful signals, powerful energy, and powerful fuel. If you learn to channel them, to transform them, you can turn what could destroy you into what propels you. Transformation begins with acknowledgement. You cannot transform what you refuse to see. You cannot work on anger if you pretend it does not exist. You cannot turn fear into courage if you do not admit that you feel afraid. You cannot convert doubt into determination if you refuse to recognize that doubt is there. Awareness is the first step. Feel your emotions, name them, understand them, and take responsibility for them. Negative emotions are not your enemy. They are messengers telling you where attention, healing, and action are required. Once you acknowledge negative emotions, you must choose to respond, not react. Most people react to emotions. They lash out, they blame, they withdraw. Reaction is automatic. Response is intentional. Response requires control. Response requires strength. Response requires courage. And when you respond with awareness, you take the first step toward transformation. You do not allow anger to dictate your words, fear to dictate your choices, or resentment to dictate your relationships. You use negative emotions as a signal to rise above, not sink below. Next, you must shift the energy of negative emotions into constructive action. Anger can become determination. Frustration can become focus. Fear can become preparation. Sadness can become reflection. Every negative emotion contains a seed of opportunity if you know how to extract it. For example, anger at injustice can fuel advocacy. Frustration at failure can fuel persistence. Fear of loss can fuel careful planning. Doubt about your ability can fuel preparation and growth. Transformation is the process of extracting the energy from emotions and redirecting it into positive action. Let me remind you that transformation also requires patience and persistence. Negative emotions are not erased in a moment. They are not eliminated by force. They are transformed gradually through consistent effort, conscious choices, and daily practice. You will feel the old patterns rising. You will feel the temptation to react impulsively. You will feel the comfort of blaming others or giving in to despair. But each time you pause, each time you reflect, each time you choose transformation over reaction, you strengthen your emotional resilience and move closer to mastery. Transformation also requires reframing your perspective. Negative emotions often feel overwhelming because we focus only on the pain, the threat, the injustice. But when you reframe, you see the lesson, the opportunity, the growth potential hidden within the emotion. Jealousy becomes a guide to what you value. Fear becomes a compass point in areas where courage is needed. Disappointment becomes a teacher revealing what you truly desire. Transformation requires the ability to shift your lens, to see beyond the immediate sting of the emotion to the wisdom it offers. You must also embrace forgiveness and release as part of transformation. Many negative emotions are tied to past wounds, betrayals, or mistakes. Resentment, bitterness, anger toward others or yourself will weigh you down if you hold on to them. Transformation requires letting go, forgiving, freeing yourself from the chains of the past. When you release these emotions, you reclaim energy, clarity, and peace that can be redirected toward growth, achievement, and purpose. Negative emotions also hold creative power. Anger can inspire art, music, or innovation. Fear can sharpen problem-solving skills. Sadness can deepen empathy and connection. Frustration can spark determination and resourcefulness. Transformation means harnessing the raw energy of what feels destructive and channeling it into creation, innovation, and progress. The same emotion that could break you can become the very force that builds your life. Your ability to transform negative emotions determines your freedom. If you are ruled by anger, you are enslaved to every insult, every injustice, every misstep around you. If you are controlled by fear, you are imprisoned by every uncertainty, every risk, every unknown. If you are trapped in doubt, you are paralyzed from moving forward. When you transform these emotions, you become free, free to think clearly, free to act wisely, free to pursue your purpose without being tethered to every passing feeling. Free to shape your destiny rather than be shaped by circumstance. Transformation also inspires others. When people see someone turning anger into purpose, fear into courage, or doubt into determination, they are drawn to that strength. They are inspired to examine their own emotions and seek transformation in their lives. Your emotional mastery does not just affect you, it radiates outward, impacting your family, community, and world. You become a living example that negative emotions are not the end of the story. They're the beginning of growth, empowerment, and transformation. Do not suppress, do not ignore, do not fear your negative emotions. Instead, confront them with courage. Acknowledge them with honesty. Reflect on their origin and their message. Channel their energy into constructive, positive action. Reframe your perspective to see the lesson and opportunity in every difficult feeling. Release what no longer serves you. Transform what could harm you into what empowers you. And in doing so, watch your life change. Watch your relationships strengthen. Watch your purpose unfold. Because here is the truth, the emotions you transform will shape the destiny you claim. Those who allow negative emotions to dominate their lives will struggle, stumble, and be limited. But those who harness, redirect, and transform their negative emotions will rise, flourish, and achieve what once seemed impossible. You were not created to be a victim of your feelings. You were created to be a master of them. You were not created to be paralyzed by negativity. You were created to convert it into strength. You were not created to be defeated by despair. You were created to triumph. So today, make the choice. Choose transformation. Choose mastery. Choose freedom. Transform your anger into courage. Transform your fear into faith. Transform your doubt into determination. Transform your pain into power. And in doing so, you will not only survive, you will thrive. You will not only endure, you will excel. You will not only dream, you will achieve. Let me tell you something today, life will push you, life will test you, life will provoke you. People will say things that hurt. Circumstances will betray you. Opportunities will slip through your hands. The world will constantly challenge you in ways that tempt you to respond impulsively. And here is the moment where most people fail. They react. They let their emotions dictate their actions. They lash out in anger, retreat in fear. spiral into frustration. But I want you to understand something vital. There is a power in pause. There is strength in self-control. There is destiny in the ability to respond rather than react. Reaction is instinctive. Reaction is immediate. Reaction is often unconsidered. Reaction is fueled by emotion, and emotion without direction is chaos. Most people live reactive lives because they do not pause. They allow anger to guide their words, fear to guide their choices, and frustration to guide their actions. And every reaction has consequences. Words spoken in anger can destroy relationships. Decisions made in haste can derail careers. Actions taken in frustration can leave scars that last a lifetime. Reaction is the trap that keeps people small, limited, and bound to the cycle of circumstance. Responding, on the other hand, is deliberate. Responding is intentional. Responding is a skill of the mind, the heart, and the spirit. Responding requires awareness, self-control, and understanding. Requires the ability to pause, reflect, and choose. And this pause, the sacred pause, is where transformation occurs. The pause allows you to separate the emotion from the action. It allows you to weigh the consequences. It allows you to decide whether what you feel should dictate what you do. Responding is the key to freedom. It is the key to mastery. When you respond instead of react, you take back your power. You no longer allow others or circumstances to control your life. You set the tone for your own destiny. You refuse to be manipulated by anger, fear, or frustration. You choose to act from wisdom rather than impulse. You choose to speak with clarity rather than with emotion. You choose to make decisions that honor your long-term goals rather than succumbing to short-term gratification. Responding is the hallmark of a mature, successful, and empowered life. Let me give you an example. Someone insults you, criticizes you, or challenges you unfairly. A reactive person snaps back, retaliates, or defends themselves aggressively. The damage is done before they even realize it. Words are spoken, relationships strained, opportunities lost. But a person who responds, who pauses, breathes, and chooses words carefully, handles the situation with grace, preserves dignity, often gains more respect and influence than anyone thought possible. Responding turns potential destruction into opportunity. Responding turns conflict into clarity. Responding turns challenge into triumph. Responding requires awareness. You must understand your emotions, your triggers, your intentions. You must know what is at stake, both in the immediate moment and in the long-term consequences. Awareness is the bridge between emotion and action. Without awareness, response is impossible. Without awareness, reaction dominates. Destiny is left to chance. Awareness allows you to see not just what is happening, but why it is happening and how best to navigate it. Responding also requires patience. In a world of instant gratification, patience is a rare and powerful virtue. The pause between emotion and action is where victory is won. It is in that pause that you collect your thoughts, assess your options, choose the path that aligns with your purpose. Patience is not weakness, it is strength. Patience is not hesitation, it is strategy. Patience is not delay, it is preparation. Responding demands patience, and those who master it wield a power few can match. Responding also requires emotional mastery. Anger must be transformed into assertiveness, fear into courage, doubt into confidence. You cannot respond effectively if you are enslaved by emotion. You must acknowledge it, process it, and channel it into constructive action. Emotional mastery allows you to act from a place of power, not a place of impulsivity. It allows you to speak with intention, decide with clarity, move with purpose. Responding also requires discernment. Not every situation deserves a response. Not every challenge is worth your energy. Discernment allows you to choose when to act and when to wait. It allows you to conserve your strength, focus your energy, and align your actions with your goals. To respond wisely is to choose battles that matter, not engage in every skirmish that comes your way. Responding is selective, strategic, and intentional. People who react impulsively are often caught in a cycle of regret. They speak too quickly, act too hastily, and make decisions they cannot undo. People who respond intentionally, however, create opportunities. They build bridges. They turn challenges into stepping stones, transform conflict into connection. They live lives of influence, impact, and purpose. Responding is not just about control, it is about creating results. Responding is also contagious. When you respond with calm, clarity, and confidence, you influence those around you. You set the standard. You elevate conversations, relationships, and communities. People notice the difference between someone who reacts and someone who responds. Your response can de-escalate tension, inspire cooperation, and foster respect. Responding is leadership in action. Responding is power in practice. Responding is a reflection of strength, wisdom, and character. And remember, responding does not mean being passive. It does not mean being weak or silent. Responding is not an action. It is the highest form of action. It is action guided by wisdom, emotion under control, and intention aligned with purpose. Responding transforms potential chaos into meaningful progress. Responding shapes character, builds resilience, and secures victory. Responding is not merely a choice. It is a lifestyle, a discipline, a path to mastery. So today, I challenge you, do not let life provoke you into reaction. Do not let words, circumstances, or emotions control your actions. Pause, reflect, breathe, assess, decide. Respond intentionally, wisely, and with purpose. Speak with clarity, act with strategy, move with power. Every time you choose response over reaction, you claim control over your life, your decisions, and your destiny. People who react are driven by circumstance. People who respond are driven by vision. People who react are controlled by emotion. People who respond are guided by purpose. People who react are temporary. They rise and fall with the storms around them. People who respond are eternal. They endure, they grow, they lead. Your destiny is not determined by the provocations you face. It is determined by how you respond to them. So I say to you today, choose to respond. Choose to pause. Choose clarity over chaos. Choose intention over impulse. Choose mastery over reaction. Transform your life, your relationships, and your destiny through the power of response. And when you do, you will not only survive, you will thrive. You will not only endure, you will rise. You will not only face challenges, you will conquer them. Respond, don't react, and watch as your life unfolds with the precision, power, purpose you were always meant to achieve. Let me speak to you today about a truth that is often overlooked, yet it is the cornerstone of every achievement, every breakthrough, and every life of significance. Internal mastery equals external success. Too many people look at the world and think that success is determined by opportunity, by resources, by luck, or by the circumstances they are born into. But I tell you today, the world you see outside is only a reflection of what is happening inside. The battles you fight, the victories you achieve, the life you live, they all begin within you. Internal mastery is the ability to govern your mind, control your emotions, and direct your energy with precision and purpose. It is self-discipline, self-awareness, and self-determination all working together. External success, whether it is in your career, relationships, finances, or personal growth, is simply the natural consequence of internal mastery. Those who have mastered themselves rise above mediocrity, rise above circumstance, and rise above the noise of the world. Those who have not mastered themselves are often lost, even when opportunities are in front of them, because they cannot harness their internal resources to take advantage of them. A person can have all the tools, all the knowledge, all the connections in the world, yet if they lack control over their thoughts, their emotions, and their actions, they will fall short. Fear will hold them back. Anger will sabotage their relationships. Doubt will paralyze their decisions. Procrastination will steal their time. Inconsistency will erode their results. External success is impossible when internal mastery is absent. No amount of external advantage can substitute for the power that comes from being disciplined, focused, and intentional from the inside out. Internal mastery begins with self-awareness. You must know who you are, what drives you, and what holds you back. You must be honest with yourself about your strengths and weaknesses, your values and priorities, and your emotions and reactions. Self-awareness is the foundation of mastery. Without it, you are like a ship without a rudder, tossed by the waves of circumstance, drifting without direction. With it, you can navigate life with clarity, purpose, and precision. Next comes emotional control. Internal mastery requires the ability to regulate your emotions rather than being ruled by them. Anger, fear, jealousy, and resentment are powerful forces that, if left unchecked, can destroy dreams. But the same emotions, when understood and directed, can be harnessed for growth. Anger can fuel determination. Fear can sharpen preparation. Doubt can inspire humility and learning. Internal mastery is about transforming emotion into energy that propels you forward rather than energy that holds you back. Internal mastery also demands discipline and consistency. Success is not an accident. It is the result of repeated, intentional action over time. Those who achieve greatness do not rely on fleeting motivation or chance inspiration. They rely on discipline. They show up every day. Even when they do not feel like it, they stay focused on the long-term vision rather than being distracted by temporary setbacks. Consistency is a product of internal mastery, and it directly produces external results. Another key aspect of internal mastery is clarity of purpose. You must know what you want and why you want it. Without a clear vision, your efforts are scattered, your energy wasted, and your actions unfocused. Internal mastery allows you to prioritize, to set goals that align with your values, and to take decisive action that leads to tangible results. Clarity from within is what enables you to cut through the noise, ignore distractions, and move towards success with unstoppable momentum. Mastery also requires resilience and adaptability. Life will challenge you. Obstacles will arise. People will betray you. Circumstances will shift. But the person with internal mastery is anchored by a deep sense of control over their own mind and heart. They do not crumble under pressure. They adapt, adjust, overcome. They understand that failure is not final, it is feedback. They understand that setbacks are not defeat. They are lessons. External success is the natural outcome of the resilience built through internal mastery. Consider this truth. People who are externally successful without internal mastery are often unfulfilled. They may have wealth, status, and recognition, but they lack peace, joy, purpose. Internal mastery is not just about achieving. It is about thriving, about living a life of significance, creating a legacy that lasts beyond fleeting external achievements. The world can give you opportunities. Only internal mastery allows you to seize them fully and transform them into lasting success. Internal mastery also influences relationships. Those who have control over their own minds and emotions communicate more effectively, lead with integrity, and inspire trust in others. They are not reactive, defensive, or manipulative. They are present, confident, and intentional. External success is rarely achieved in isolation. It is built through collaboration, influence, and connection. Internal mastery equips you to build the kind of relationships that amplify your impact and extend your influence. Internal mastery is also the antidote to fear and uncertainty. Many people fail to act because they are paralyzed by what might go wrong, others might think, or by the unknown. But when you have internal mastery, you are guided by principles rather than panic, by strategy rather than emotion, and by confidence rather than doubt. You take decisive action even in the face of uncertainty, because your power comes from within. External success is the fruit of internal courage, wisdom, and preparation. Let me remind you today, external success is not about chance, luck, or circumstance. It is about what is happening inside you, your thoughts, your habits, your mindset, and your emotional resilience. Internal mastery is the training ground for external achievement. The mind that is disciplined becomes a strategy center. The heart that is controlled becomes a source of energy. The spirit that is anchored becomes unshakable. Actions that flow from internal mastery inevitably lead to success, influence, and fulfillment in the world around you. So today, I challenge you, do not chase external success without first cultivating internal mastery. Do not seek recognition, wealth, or position if you have not first disciplined your mind, your heart, and your spirit. Start with awareness. Gain control over your emotions. Build consistent habits. Define your purpose. Cultivate resilience. Strengthen your character. Master yourself internally, and the world will follow. Because here is the truth: internal mastery equals external success. The kingdom you are trying to build outside begins inside you. The victories you desire in the world begin in the control of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. The life you dream of living is shaped by the discipline, clarity, and power you cultivate within. Internal mastery is not optional, it is essential. And when you commit to mastering yourself, you will inevitably create a life of success, impact, and fulfillment that no circumstance can take away. Speak to you today about something that many people misunderstand. Life is full of emotions: joy, fear, anger, excitement, disappointment, hope, and frustration. They all come uninvited at times, powerful and undeniable. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid negative emotions or chasing only the positive ones. But I tell you today, emotions, every single one of them, can be fuel for growth. Every emotion you feel carries energy, carries power, carries a message. And if you learn to harness that energy, you can transform your life. Emotions are not obstacles, they are signals. They are not weaknesses. They are indicators of what matters to you, what you value, what your heart desires, and what your soul needs to address. Fear is not just a warning, it is a guide. Frustration is not just an annoyance, it is an alert. Anger is not just a danger, it is a fuel for action. And even sadness carries the seeds of reflection, empathy, and renewal. The key is learning to see emotions not as distractions, not as burdens, not as something to suppress, but as fuel for growth. Let me start with anger. Most people treat anger as toxic. They believe it destroys relationships, blocks opportunities, and brings regret. And yes, uncontrolled anger can be destructive. Anger, when acknowledged and channeled, can become one of the most powerful forces for transformation. Anger shows you where you have been wrong, where injustice exists, and where change is necessary. Anger can motivate you to take action, to set boundaries, to speak truth, and to fight for what is right. Anger becomes fuel when you do not let it control you, but instead direct it toward meaningful action. Now consider fear. Fear has a reputation for stopping people in their tracks. Fear paralyzes, frightens, and convinces us that we are not enough. But fear, if understood and harnessed, is one of the greatest teachers. Fear points to growth. Fear shows you the edge of your comfort zone. Fear highlights the areas where you need preparation, courage, and faith. When you step into fear, using it as a guide rather than a prison, you find strength you never knew existed. Fear, transformed, becomes fuel for growth. And what about disappointment and sadness? These emotions are often unwelcome guests. They make us feel vulnerable, small, and powerless, but they carry lessons. Sadness allows us to reflect, to pause, to evaluate what is truly important. Disappointment teaches resilience, persistence, and humility. These emotions are not signs of weakness. They are opportunities to learn to recalibrate and to rise stronger than before. If you let them guide you instead of defeat you, you turn despair into determination, frustration into focus, and loss into learning. Even joy, excitement, passion, while seemingly positive, can be fuel for growth. They are reminders of what matters most to you. They are signals of alignment with your purpose. When you notice what excites you, what moves you, what energizes you, you gain insight into your true calling. Positive emotions are just as instructive as negative ones. They show you what to nurture, what to pursue, and what to build. Both positive and negative emotions, when recognized and harnessed, become fuel for your personal evolution. Harnessing emotions as fuel requires self-awareness. You must know what you are feeling, why you are feeling it, and how it is influencing your thoughts and decisions. Awareness allows you to step back and examine the energy of your emotion before acting. Without awareness, emotion can run wild, leading to regret, conflict, lost opportunities. Awareness is the first step in transforming raw emotional energy into focused, constructive power. Next comes control and choice. Once you are aware of an emotion, you have the power to choose how to use it. Will anger be allowed to destroy relationships, or will it drive advocacy and action? Will fear paralyze you, or will it sharpen your preparation and courage? Will sadness consume you? Will it teach you resilience and compassion? Emotions themselves are neutral. The power lies in the choices you make with them. Control and choice are the levers that transform emotion into growth. Emotions also become fuel when they are channeled into purposeful action. Energy from emotion is potent, but it must be directed. Frustration can drive problem solving, anxiety can motivate planning, excitement can inspire innovation, passion can spark creativity. Growth is the product of emotional energy applied toward meaningful goals. If emotion is left undirected, it dissipates or causes harm. But if it is harnessed intentionally, it becomes the engine that propels you towards success. Another essential element is reflection and learning. Every emotion carries information. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every triumph teaches something valuable. Taking time to reflect on what emotions are telling you, what they are signaling about your desires, your fears, your growth areas, transforms experience into wisdom. Growth is not only about doing, it is about understanding, processing, integrating the lessons that emotion brings. Emotions as fuel also require resilience and perseverance. Growth is rarely immediate. Emotions can be overwhelming, exhausting, and intense. The fire they carry can burn if you are unprepared. But those who persevere, who practice mastery over emotional energy, who keep using it as a source of motivation, develop strength, character, and endurance. Growth is a journey, and emotions are the wind at your back if you learn to harness them. Finally, remember that transformation of emotion into growth is an ongoing practice. Life will continue to challenge you. Emotions will continue to arise, unexpected and powerful. You will encounter anger, fear, frustration, doubt, joy, excitement, and passion again and again. The key is to continually refine your ability to harness them, to channel them, to convert raw emotional energy into fuel for learning, action, and achievement. Growth is not about eliminating emotions. It is about mastering them. Your emotions are not barriers. They are your catalysts. The same energy that can break you can also build you. The same feelings that can paralyze you can also propel you. Your anger, your fear, your sadness, your joy, and your passion, each one carries potential power. Use it wisely, direct it intentionally, harness it relentlessly, transform it into fuel for growth, and watch as your life, your mind, your heart, your destiny expand beyond what you ever thought possible. Those who master the use of emotions as fuel are unstoppable. They rise higher in the face of adversity. They achieve more than those who merely react to circumstance. They inspire, lead, and create impact wherever they go. Emotional mastery is not just a personal victory. It is the engine of greatness. It is the bridge between struggle and triumph, between limitation and possibility, between potential and destiny. So today, I challenge you, do not fear your emotions. Do not suppress them. Do not allow them to control you. Acknowledge them. Understand them. Channel them. Transform them into fuel. Let every emotion, positive or negative, become the energy that drives your growth, your progress, and your success. Emotions are not the enemy. They are the key to your evolution. Use them, harness them, and grow.